As communities expand and technologies improve, governments around the world are embarking on some of the most mind-blowing construction projects ever conceived, whether it's to improve travel connections, improve the living conditions of citizens, or to further scientific research. There's one thing that's certain about these initiatives: they're incredibly expensive. It's time to put on your hard hats, because here are the top 6 most expensive mega projects. Number 6. The Urban Renewal Project, Turkey. There are a number of cities around the world that have been in existence for hundreds and even thousands of years, and this is beginning to create a real problem for the planners and for the residents who live there. The buildings and infrastructures are incompatible with the needs of the modern era, so vast urban renewal projects are needed to prepare them for the future. The largest currently underway is in Turkey, where not only are the buildings aging, but they are increasing safety risks because of natural disasters like earthquakes. The Turkish government has therefore set aside $400 billion to deal with 7.5 million buildings that they've deemed to be unsafe, and the main method of renewal is to simply demolish them and start all over again with regular collapses that cost lives. The project is already underway at an unbelievable pace. As many as 500,000 structures are being rebuilt every year, with a 5-year time frame having been set for the most urgent 1.5 million. Making these buildings earthquake-proof and modern is one of the largest infrastructure megaprojects ever undertaken anywhere in the world, and at the same time, there's a drive to make the new structures as environmentally conscious as possible, with all municipalities expected to have become zero waste by 2022. If the project proves to be successful and renews the Turkish economy in the way that experts predict, it could form a blueprint for similar schemes to take place elsewhere in the world in the coming years. Number 2. The Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor Project. In its quest to become a global manufacturing and trading hub, India is building one of the world's largest infrastructure projects ever. The Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor will span almost 1,500 kilometers between the capital city of Delhi and the financial hub Mumbai. Costing $100 billion, it's being built as a partnership between India and Japan. It will have smart cities and high-tech industrial zones. One major benefit for India is that it will significantly upgrade the transport infrastructure in the country. When completed, the project will provide 3 million new jobs. Besides that, the project will create many manufacturing hubs, which will increase manufacturing production from 14% to 25% by 2025. 2 developments to look out for are the high-speed train and the Dulera Smart City, launched in 2017. The Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail project will be India's first bullet train. It will cover 508 kilometers in 2 hours at a maximum speed of 350 kilometers per hour. On the other hand, Dulera Smart City will be India's largest new city. The futuristic development will cover over 500 square kilometers and host 2 million people. In comparison to that, Mumbai hosts around 20 million residents on 600 square kilometers. Number 4. The International Space Station. It's the largest structure humans ever put into space, and it weighs almost 400 tons. To build it, it had to be assembled gradually while orbiting the Earth. The main structure was built between 1998 and 2011. Continuously occupied since the year 2000, it generally holds crews of between 3 to 6 people. Supported by multiple nations, the costs of running it have amounted to over $160 billion. NASA alone spends $3 to $4 billion a year. Operating the station in flying missions, it takes just 90 minutes for the International Space Station to make a complete circuit of the Earth. However, it's not moving without purpose. The space station is a busy laboratory where astronauts spend a lot of time performing experiments. It has enough equipment to do 250 experiments in one go. The experiments seek to understand life in space and try to uncover mysteries about life on Earth. One experiment is investigating a gene mutation that could be connected to Parkinson's disease. Scientists need more information about its crystalline structure. Zero gravity on the space station can cause these crystals to enlarge. This will make it easier to study them on Earth using high-resolution imaging. In another experiment, the space station is testing a device called Refabricator. It recycles plastic waste into high-quality 3D printer filament. These provide materials for repairs during long missions. The United States and other participating nations have committed to funding the space station until at least 2024. What will happen in the future to this icon of technology? Currently, they're planning a replacement for it. There's also a possibility that the space station is offered to the private sector. This will open it up to commercial and marketing opportunities. However, the major hardware components are only certified up to 2028. This might limit their options. Number 3. The Interstate Highway System, United States. The Interstate Highway System in the United States is the largest and most complex system of freeways in the world. Construction on the network first began in 1959, following the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956, and the routes link to the entire contiguous United States, as well as providing reliable access across Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico. By 1992, the original plans for the system were declared complete, but several expansions have already been built, and there's currently another 7 routes that are in the planning stages. If you classify the entire interstate highway system as one large transportation megaproject, then it's easily the most expensive one ever built on Earth, with an estimated cost of $549 billion in today's prices when you account for inflation. Covering a distance of 46,876 miles, or about 75,000 kilometers, it's also considered one of the most economically beneficial projects ever. It's one of the reasons why America's economy has been able to expand so much in the past 7 decades. Number 2. The Trans-European Transport Network. The European Union is made up of 27 individual countries that have aligned on their political and economic policy to create one of the largest markets in the world. In theory, this allows them to compete as a bloc with the planet's biggest economies, such as the United States and China, and authorities are investing in huge sums to ensure the transport network across Europe is fit for purpose. This led to the creation of the Trans-European Transport Network, a huge infrastructure megaproject that's expected to have cost around $550 billion by the time it's finished. This project involves the coordination of governments in each country to improve the roads, railways, waterways, airports, and seaports to create a seamless travel experience no matter where a passenger or freight container needs to go. The transport network was first agreed upon in 1996 and has arranged around 10 core networks that connect to one another. There is, for example, the North Sea-Baltic Corridor, which links Helsinki in Finland to Antwerp in Belgium across almost 2,000 miles, and the Scandinavian-Mediterranean Corridor, which covers a distance of about 3,000 miles between Helsinki and Valletta in Malta. A number of the routes have already been completed, but construction is still ongoing and planned to be finished within a decade. By that time, you'll be able to travel from one side of Europe to the other without any complicated changeovers, and it'll be the next step in creating a truly connected and integrated continent. Number 1. The Belt and Road Initiative. The Silk Road was once the most valuable trade network in the world, and while it's since fallen by the wayside with the development of new transport technologies, China is leading the way in the development of a new Silk Road, something it calls the Belt and Road Initiative. This is quite simply the largest and most expensive megaproject ever undertaken, with an estimated overall cost of $8 trillion. Expected to be finished by 2050, it includes more than 7,000 different infrastructure projects across 64 countries throughout Asia, Africa, and Europe. The project was first announced in 2013 and has been a centerpiece of the Chinese Communist Party's foreign policy ever since. Not only seen as a way to establish China's dominance in worldwide trade for a long time to come, the Belt and Road Initiative also has political goals, with many countries relying on huge investment from China to develop their parts of the network. Projects currently underway include the construction of ports, skyscrapers, railways, roads, airports, dams, and technology institutes to design more efficient processes to further enhance trade. If the plan comes through as expected, it could well change the face of world trade as we know it. What do you think about these mega projects? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Premium 10. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.